Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. Today, we'll be discussing the changes that happened to Sparkle and Blackswan's kits in beta version 3. And of course, this information comes from a credible source, Hakushin. Alright, let's not waste any time and get right into it, okay? Sparkle and Blackswan Beta V3 have been released, and there are several changes to their kits in Beta V3, specifically to their ultimate, talent, and eidolons. With that said, let's begin the discussion. However, before diving into the characters themselves, there are two 4-star elation light cones that also received changes in Beta V3, so we need to cover those first. The first light cone is the Battle Pass light cone. In Beta V3, the elation damage increase provided by this light cone has been raised to 12%, up from the previous 10%. However, the maximum number of stacks has been reduced to 2 stacks, down from 3. As a result, the maximum total elation damage bonus is now 24%, compared to 30% in the previous version. In other words, even though the scaling per stack is higher, the overall maximum potential of this light cone has actually been nerfed. Next is the second light cone. Honestly, I forgot whether this 4-star light cone is obtained for free from the mock shop or through gacha. However, in Beta V3, the increase to elation damage taken from this light cone has been reduced to 6%, down from the previous 8%. With these changes, both 4-star elation light cones can generally be considered nerfed. Now, we move on to the kits of Sparkle and Blackswan. But before that, running out of Stellar Jade and Honkai starrail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai starrail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. And if you spend $80 per month on U7 Buy, you can even get the Express Supply Pass for just 1 cent. Yeah, it's basically free. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, let's continue. We'll start with the changes to Sparkle's kit. The first change is to Sparkle's ultimate. In Beta V3, it is now explicitly stated that overflowing skill points can be stored up to a maximum of 10 points. In the previous version, this overflow limit was not clearly explained, which could lead to confusion. In addition, the damage boost from Sparkle's talent has been increased to 6% per stack, up from the previous 5%. With a maximum of 3 stacks, the total damage boost Sparkle can now provide is 18%, increased from the previous 15%. Next is Sparkle's talent, which received an adjustment to its scaling values. In Beta V3, this talent now increases damage received by all enemies by 4% per stack, lasts for 2 turns, and can stack up to 3 times. Previously, the value per stack was only 3%, but it could stack up to 4 times. In total, the maximum vulnerability value is actually the same. However, with the new system, Sparkle can reach maximum stacks faster and more easily. When combined with her ultimate, the total vulnerability Sparkle can apply can now reach around 30%. For Trace 3, there are no significant mechanical changes. The adjustments made are mainly rewording in the description, meaning its functionality remains the same as in the previous beta version. In other words, this trace did not receive a direct buff or nerf. The final change for Sparkle is in Eidolon 2. In Beta V3, each stack of Sparkle's talent now reduces enemy def by 10%, increased from the previous 8%. While this may look like a buff at first glance, it is actually a form of balancing. Previously, Sparkle's talent could stack up to 4 times, resulting in a maximum def shred of 32% at E2. Now, even though the value per stack is increased to 10%, the maximum number of stacks is reduced to 3, making the total def shred 30%. After covering Sparkle, we now move on to Black Swan. Unlike Sparkle, Black Swan only received one major change in Beta v3, and that is to Eidolon 6. In the previous version, the maximum increase to Arcana stacks from E6 was capped at 20. In Beta v3, this cap has been raised to 30. This means Black Swan's Arcana stacks can now reach a maximum of 60 stacks. In addition, there is one more important piece of information regarding Black Swan from the source Shiroha. It is stated that the RES shred from Black Swan's Eidolon 1 is now separated into different debuffs, making it easier to reach the maximum 6-stack effect on the light cone Hizelins. Technically, this can be considered an indirect buff or a bug fix, because in previous beta versions, this effect was not always counted as separate debuffs. With this change, Black Swan's synergy with certain light cones becomes much more consistent. Looking at Black Swan's overall changes in Beta v3, it can be said that her kit is already relatively stable and is unlikely to receive major changes up until Beta v5, similar to the situation with Dahlia in the previous beta cycle. This suggests that Hoyoverse is largely satisfied with Black Swan's performance after the series of buffs she received earlier. In conclusion, both Sparkle and Black Swan received buffs in Beta v3, although in different forms and scales. Sparkle gained more balanced improvements across utility, vulnerability, and def shred, while Black Swan received a major buff focused on Arcana scaling at high investment. On the other hand, it's quite unfortunate that both 4-star elation light cones were nerfed, especially considering that light cone options were already limited when the elation path was first introduced. Alright, that's all for today's discussion. So, what do you think about the changes to Sparkle and Black Swan in Beta v3? Do you think these buffs are sufficient, or do they still need further adjustments? Feel free to share your thoughts, opinions, and speculations in the comments. Don't forget to share this information with your friends who also play Honkai, starrail, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any important updates. See you in the next discussion.